There is a quote on my vision board that says, radical consistency comes from a focus on the process, not perfection. There are some other ones on there, and I put them on there a while ago. And when I stuck them on there, realistically, I understood what they meant. But internally, I realized that I definitely didn't understand what they meant. And it's taken me a little bit of, well, it's taken a couple years to really recognize that I am not going to be perfect every day. I'm not perfect, period. I'm not really going to be perfect at all. But I there are going to be times where I'm doing something and I slip up, or something doesn't go right. I don't have, all the materials, if you will, that I need to do something the way that I want to do it at the time, and I might have to improvise, whatever. But just showing up anyway and doing it is, in time, going to really go a long way, depending on what it is. But for what I'm talking about, that's what I'm referring to. It's going to help you. So, right now, I've realized that I told myself that I was going to do something. And I've told myself I was going to do things before, and I didn't do them, simply put. And I've told myself I was going to do things before, and then I did twice what I said I was going to do. And then I was like, wow, that was cool. And I think the truth is that you you setting goals is just giving you direction. You saying, like an idea being planted in your head, or something that you want. You might stumble into a car dealership one day and randomly recognize that you've spent your whole life not giving a shit about cars. You think that spending a bunch of money on a car would be the dumbest thing ever, and then randomly you're like, oh, I get it now. This is pretty cool. I would like this. And then you find out what the price tag is on that thing, and it's like, oh, wow. And then all of a sudden you're motivated to go make enough money to get this, and then next thing you know, it changes your life. Blah, blah, blah. It's kind of crazy how just things can change things and whatever. But it's just, I got a little off track. But right now, I realize for myself is there's something. Well, I told myself that I was going to post on here every day on YouTube, which might be something people are like, how are you interesting enough to post every day on YouTube? I don't know, you tell me. If you're here and you're watching, then I guess the answer would be yes to at least a few people. So from there, if I don't put myself out there for people to find me, how are people going to find me? And it's not this thing where because one video didn't do well, you just stop, or, because you don't, like right now, I guess there are things that I feel like I could talk about that are, these big life whatevers. But sometimes I feel like it's cool to just slow down and not always be on mode. Like that is, it's good for you. And I don't know, not losing track and not staying focused on what the goal is. But it's just like, I don't want to sit here and talk about something that I don't really care about, or necessarily yell at somebody through a camera to change their lives, when some days I wake up and I don't feel like that. And Sometimes I wake up and it's astounding to me how I am just ready to take on the world. I'm talking not a lick of caffeine, not a nothing. I'm just ready to go. And if I funnel that energy properly, what I can get done in a day is it's magnificent. But then there are other days where I just don't really wake up and feel that way. And that's where I watched this video a while back, and she was talking about having ADD, ADHD, and essentially how some days you're going to feel different than others. So you're going to have days where you show up 100% and you like every single thing in your ideal morning routine, like you're going to get that done. But then some days you're going to wake up and you're barely going to want to brush your teeth. And that is normal. That's human. But we have to figure out what our priorities are so that way we can make sure that we show up for ourselves every day, no matter what. Because we don't have to show up like a unit, we just have to show up. And you're going to lack energy sometimes. You're not going to have the will to live some days. If you're like me, maybe that's dramatic. I'm sure it is. But it's kind of might be how you feel. But you still have to show up regardless of how you feel. You still just have to get up and go. And that's the funny thing about goals, because if you set a goal and then you lock yourself into it and kind of make it this like non-negotiable for yourself, if you're actually willing to not negotiate with yourself and do what you said you're going to do, you don't really need a why. Because you just wake up and you do it. And the why is because all these things that you want to do way down the road, you know that you've just got to start planting seeds. And your habits, self-talk, daily routines, they're all built off of little things that you'll change every day. I'm on the uphill right now. Probably should have waited to say this stuff, but it's okay. Yapping, minimal breathing. Whew. Is this a recipe for success? I don't know. Maybe the oxygen levels in my brain will like get weird and it'll do something cool for me. I don't know if that's how that works or if that's possible. I could just pass out. I'm probably not going to pass out, but it's okay.